Well, good afternoon. I'm enjoying a little bit of time at Scuttlebutt Lodge. Spent the entire week in our nation's capital of Ottawa, in the courts. But before I get into the courts, there are a couple things I'd like to share with you, some thoughts and views of the court updates. This bizarre, strange items happening in the Middle East and in Gaza and with Israel and the UN. And of course, I want to chat a little bit more about this rampant and uncontrolled illegal immigration happening through the Western nations. And of course, this Saturday, September 14th, I will be in Arthur, Ontario for a town hall and meet and greet with the Mapleton Freedom Group. If you like to come out, and it's both a fundraiser and meet and greet and town hall. We'll be in Arthur. It's just north of Guelph and Kitchener-Waterloo, and hope to see you Saturday, September 14th, between 1 and 4 p.m. in Arthur, Ontario. So let's get into a little bit of the updates in the courts. This week, my good friend Sean McCrae, the court-recognized Mackenzie friend of mine, we're in court watching hours and hours and hours of videos that the Crown is wanting to use in the trial against me in the great assault on Parliament Hill, which they're seeking a 3.5-year prison sentence for me. Now, these videos, and bear in mind, I have to be cautious what I say. There is a publication ban, but these videos are all of my appearances and my words about the counterfeit COVID pandemic over the years, and as well as some other interactions with the police over that period of time as well. I found them quite enjoyable, and I think the judge actually found my videos very enlightening as well. It'll be interesting to see what happens with them. I think the Crown is going to lose on these motions. I think we gave a very good account. And the Crown is fishing where I don't think there's very many fish. But they do want to keep me in the courts, keep me occupied. So we'll wait and see what happens on these motions that were heard this week. The judge has reserved her decisions on them. In addition, on September 18th, I'll be back in. The court wants to see me again, so I have another judicial pretrial scheduled for September 18th. And then I have the big Court of Appeal decision or arguments being heard on September 19th at Osgoode Hall in Toronto. The Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms is representing me in my constitutional battle against Doug Ford's Reopening Ontario Act. So that will be heard on September 19th. Who knows how long it will take for the Court of Appeals to make a decision on that. And then, of course, on October 3rd, I'm back in the Ottawa courts again to argue that my right to a speedy trial that is protected by the Constitution has been impugned by the Ottawa Crown's relentless desire to have delays and more motions and more motions. And it reminds me, I'll just make a mention of this. If you remember in one of my earlier videos, I described how the chief Crown attorney in Eastern Ontario, Julie Scott, once referred to and told me that the only people that come before a court are either fiends or fools. I think she forgot one other thing. Many people that come before the courts are neither fiends nor fools, but oftentimes of modest means and modest incomes, and who the court believes that they can prey on and take advantage of. Um, we're still swinging. We're still standing. Um, we're neither fools nor fiends. We are of modest means, but we will keep fighting, and I am confident we will win this battle in the Ottawa courts. Next step up, though, is I saw this bizarre situation unfold in Palestine that I wanted to make mention of. As we know, since October 7th, and actually for about 75 years, there's been constant conflict in Palestine, Gaza, the Middle East, Israel. But since October 7th, we've seen tremendous casualties. Tens and tens of thousands of Palestinians have been bombed, they've been shot, they've been maimed, and it's quite brutal what's going on there. And many countries and the UN itself has attempted to broker ceasefires, but all to no avail. But they have managed. The United Nations World Health Organization has managed to broker a ceasefire every day for 8 hours. Now, according to the reports that I've read, is the World Health Organization is very concerned that there are people in Palestine who are not vaccinated. They're not so concerned that tens of thousands of them are being shot, wounded, maimed, and bombed to smithereens. No, they're concerned that many of these Palestinians, who are likely not going to live very long, are not vaccinated. So they have brokered a ceasefire every day for 8 hours so that they can vaccinate the people of Gaza. Now, who else finds that a little bit bizarre? That they can't broker a ceasefire to stop the killing, but they can broker a ceasefire to get the injections and the vaccines into people. It certainly looks to me that possibly the big pharma is tired of taking a backseat to the military-industrial complex in profiteering from war, misery, and conflict. And Big Pharma wants to get their slice of the pie as well. So they've got the military-industrial complex to wait and stop bombs and planes and tanks for 8 hours each day so that they can get the injections into the people of Palestine. Go figure. Anyway, the last item I wanted to chat about was also this, and I've spoken a little bit on the rampant, uncontrolled, illegal immigration that's going on through the West. And I've explained why there's a number of reasons why our Western governments have, well, they encourage this. They could stop it if they wanted to, if they thought there was a good reason. But Biden, Trudeau, Starmer, Macron, all of them only believe our borders are good to prevent you and I from leaving during COVID, but the borders are no good to prevent people from coming. And of course, I explained that some of this is economic. It helps to disguise the failing economic prosperity in our Western nations as more and more people come in. And it also, of course, hides the excess and growing mortality and chronic illness in the West. It sort of obscures and makes it difficult to parse the data on excess deaths and chronic illnesses when there are just, the borders are wide open. And of course, it's exasperating and causing significant economic problems in our housing markets, etc. Um, and it also disguises and hides the significant and important declining fertility rates in our Western countries. But there's another element to it as well that I wanted to mention, and that is these global elites, people from the WEF, people who believe in one world government, believe in globalism, people like Biden and Macron and Starmer and others, they really view their constituents, their citizens in their country, as beneath them. And if you're a globalist, you can't want national identities and global governance, one world government. National identities are a polar opposite of a one world government. And these countries, like Ireland, France, Scotland, England, and many others, Germany, all have very unique, distinct cultures, languages, practices, and they've developed those unique cultures over thousands of years. But the elite hate, and I mean hate, national identities. We even saw it here in Canada with Justin Trudeau, who said Canada has no culture. That's what he thinks. I think you and I know better. But that's one of the things that this rampant and uncontrolled immigration does. It helps to sterilize a country of its national identity, which is a prerequisite for globalism and for one global government. So, if we allow this to continue, to allow these people to have their ways, there will be no such thing as an Englishman. There'll be no such thing as an Irishman. There'll be no such thing as an American, Canadian, German, or Frenchman. We will all be homogenized into the one world government, the globalists' idea of what people really are, and that is prey for their predatory system. I hope you enjoyed this. There's really many, many things going on in the world. And if you'd like to help out, I have a Give, Send, Go page to help out on my legal defense, trying to keep myself out of jail. The Crown wants me there for 3.5 years. And of course, I do hope to see you in Arthur, Ontario on Saturday, September 14th. And you can also visit nomorolockdowns.ca if you want to help out, or if you'd like to have me at one of your local town halls. I'd be happy to come down and chat with people. Visit nomorolockdowns.ca or subscribe to my Substack page, Randy Hillier, No More Lockdowns. Thanks. Enjoy the day. And until next time.